Good evening, folks. Welcome to Beer Rating with Sean Connors. This week I have another Trappist brewery. For those who joined me last week, basically for Christmas I got this gift pack, which is 3 of the brews from Chimay Brewery in Belgium, which is a Trappist brewery. You might have heard the term Trappist brewery, or you might have heard the term Abbey brewery. Some people think they're the same, but there is a difference. So I'll just quickly tell you what I know. An Abbey brewery would be, or an Abbey beer, would be a beer brewed at a monastery, but the monks have a brewmaster or other personnel employed to brew the beer. Whereby a Trappist brewery is a brewery and monastery that is run and operated by the monks totally. So the monks are the brewmasters, they're doing everything. I said last week that I thought there were 7 or 8 Trappist breweries, with most of them being in Belgium and 1 in France. I did a quick internet search. I'm getting conflicting numbers. I had 8, I had 11, I had 14. But they say there's 6 in Belgium, as I said, 1 in France, and I think there's also Austria, Italy, another couple in Europe, and apparently there's 1 in the United States. Now I remember reading previously that the United States was in the process, so I guess they did get authorization. There's actually an organization which approves Trappist breweries, so the highest number I could find was 14, so I don't know for sure, but we'll leave it at that. Now last week I tried the red, and all the beers are red, white, and blue. They have no fancy names. With the white is the triple, or the triple, I believe they call it. And the one last week was considered a strong beer at 7%, whereby the one this week is a strong ale at 8%. And it says ale brewed in Belgium at Scourmont Abbey. Let's see what else they say here. It says the Trappist logo certifies that this beer was brewed within the walls of an existing Trappist monastery under the control of the Trappist community. A major part of the sales revenue is used by the monks to support charitable works. Chimay Triple stands out thanks to its flavor of hops and yeast. And on the box itself, some little bit more information. They give a little bit of information on each beer. The white, the one I'm going to have today, they say it should be served between 6 and 8 degrees Celsius. So that's a little bit warmer than refrigerated. So I took this out of the fridge about an hour ago, just a little bit of time to cool down. Whereby the one I had last week was 10 to 12, so I took that out a little bit longer and let it sit. They say for the white, they say the Chimay, I keep wanting to say Chimay, but I believe it's Chimay. The Chimay Triple, which is the brewery's most recent creation. It is golden in color and succeeds remarkably in blending mellowness and bitterness. So let's crack it open and see where we go. Next week I'll try the final one, the blue, which I believe is a dark ale. So I've already given my glass a quick cold water rinse, and this is a glass that came with it. And I said this before too. You don't see it a lot in North America, or at least I haven't. But in Europe, a lot of times, like if you go in a bar, if you order, I don't know, say if you order a Guinness, you're going to get it in a Guinness glass. If you order Chimay, you're going to get it in a Chimay glass. And I've actually been in one pub where I ordered a beer, they didn't have that specific brewery's glass, and I actually had to wait until they got a clean glass. So they seem to be big. I don't see a lot of that in North America. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but from my experience, I don't see it as much as I have in Europe. Alright, so we'll give it a pour. So a nice golden color as expected. And quite a bit of head. I probably poured it a little bit too fast. As I said, it is a ale. I believe they're all ales, I believe. I know the one next week for sure. And the red, it just said it's the oldest of the Chimay beers. I'm pretty sure that was an ale as well. And just seeing if there's any other information. It says that Chimay glass is essential. Only this chalice-shaped glass will allow you to fully experience the aroma and flavor of Chimay. And that's a little bit about the logo, which I already read from the bottle. So the one I had last week, I really did enjoy it. With that being said, I don't think it would ever be my go-to beer. But I was talking to a buddy of mine tonight, James, and he's a big beer guy. And even he really enjoyed it. He said they're really, really unique. And they have amazing history. Alright, so nice golden color. Not quite clear. Nice white foam. Nice head. Ooh, I like the smell. Nothing really jumps out at me, but it does have a nice aroma. I find most Belgian beers, in my experience, they're very complex, and that's common with ales in general, but I find some of the Belgian ones in my experience are a little bit more so. What I mean by complex, there's a lot of flavor, there's a lot of aromas, there's just a lot to take in. I do like lagers, and honestly, I think I'm more of a lager guy than an ale guy. And lagers, people to describe a lager is kind of like clean and crisp. And in North America, I mean, we're more familiar with lagers, but ales are definitely more complex and they're more unique, in my opinion. And for me, an ale would be something, if I'm just casually relaxing, maybe watching a movie, having a chat with a friend, and I'm only going to have one or two, I like an ale. Or by the time I'm at a party or at a club, I'd be more of a lager guy. Alright, so let's give it a taste. A lot of flavor there, which, as I said, to be expected for an ale. And what I've noticed with the two beers I've had so far, they're normally higher on alcohol. And I find some beers that are, getting close to 10%. I find you can almost taste the alcohol. And I'm not getting that from this one or last week. Now, last week was only 7%. This one's 8%. So it is getting up there. I mean, our typical North America mass brewed lagers, you're probably looking at between 4.5 and 5.5. So it's a little bit more. So it's definitely full of flavor. I'm going to have to give it a rating. And my ratings are out of 5. A 1 being a drain pour. Don't like it, can't finish it. A 2 being, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I'll finish it. A 3 is a good beer. A 4 would be a very good beer. And 5 would be the best beer ever. Last week, I believe I gave the red a 4. The white or the triple, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards. I don't think it's quite a 4 for me. I'm leaning towards either a 3 or 3.5. As I said, my buddy James, he's tried them all, and he said the white was his favorite. Like I said, a lot of flavor. Interesting, nice, but I think I'm going to rate it a little bit lower than the red. So I think I'm going to give it a 3.5, which is between good and very good beer. And for my ratings, that's a really good, not a really good rating, but it's a good rating. There's nothing wrong with a 3.5 at all. Yeah, so that's about it. Next week, I'm going to try the blue. We'll finish it off, and we'll go from there. So hopefully you can join me then. Until next brew, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.